Right now, I'm going to show you how to use the Luna G3 CPAP machine. Keep in mind, I'm a user, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a healthcare professional, but this is my machine and I'm going to show you how to use it. And I'm going to show you some very useful settings that really helped me. So first of all, when you get it, you will need to plug it in, of course, so you'll have to have power. So right here in the back is where you're going to plug in your power cord. And then you're going to have to, of course, attach your hose to it. So here we have the outlet hose here, and we're just going to take our hose, and they all have this like rubber, flexible rubber hose, and you can just push it on. So this is a heated tube, so we're just going to push it on here. You can kind of twist it and rotate it a little bit to help get it on there a little easier. And here you have the plug here for the hose. So you'll just plug that in, and that's how you get power to the heated tube, right? If you don't have a heated tube, then obviously you won't need to plug it in. On the back here, you also have access to the air filter. So it's right here, it's just this little tab here. You just push that down and pull it out, and that's where the filter will go inside here. So some of them are reusable, some of them are disposable, but that is access to your filter there. So as you can see here, it is working. Let's get it in focus there. And so it's got a little bit of dust on there, so those are those lines there that you can see. So anyways, the filter goes in here. Doesn't matter which way it goes in. And it's got those little plastic tabs there that kind of keep it in place. Then you'll just line it up here with the pull tab again, and it's got two little wings on it, and you'll just line that up, press it into place. So let's look at the front here and kind of the controls of the machine. Again, I'm going to show you some really nifty settings, especially if you are a new user. Some settings that could be really helpful, that were really helpful for me as well. So here you have your water tank, your water chamber. So if you just press down, it kind of releases it. So it's kind of a push to connect. Okay, you do not have to take it off to refill it, but you can. So it's up to you. I pretty much take it off every day because I just dump out the excess water and then I rinse it out. You do want to use distilled water, so you can buy that at a grocery store. Typically, lots of stores have distilled water. I get mine from the grocery store. You want to use distilled water because they state that any hard water, right, water with minerals or anything in it, can actually damage the machine a little bit, or at least build up, so it could be an issue. So I use distilled water, which obviously has nothing in it. Basically, it's just the water. So here you've got some really simple controls, right? If you want to turn it on or off, it does have a power button here on the top, so that's how you would turn it on. You press that, and then we're going to get air coming out here. So we've turned it on, air is coming out, so it's working, right? And so you can just press that again to turn it off. One of the cool things is that you can press the home button here, and that will take you to kind of the main menu here, and then you can go to settings to kind of more customize some things as well. Also turning on an auto mode, which means as soon as you put it on and start breathing, it will kick on automatically, so you don't necessarily have to turn it on and off. So you can preheat it. Honestly, I really don't use a lot of these settings right here in this first menu. This is really to kind of just dive deeper. One thing is that when you are first setting it up, you can go ahead and reset it so that it will alert you, or you can see how many days you've been using your filter, your tubing, or your mask. So you will keep up to date on the recommended times on when you should be changing those out, right? So there's recommended time on how often you should change those, and then you can just go back in and hit reset. I just do it on a calendar, so I don't actually use that. For the mask here, you can actually do a test here to see how it fits. So you can choose the type of mask that you have. So I've got the nasal mask, right, that just goes over my nose. So you'd pick the mask that you're using and then go forward with it. You can start, and then you're going to put your mask on, and it's going to do a test really to help you adjust it to get it on correctly, to see if you're leaking, to make sure that it's on correctly. So then you can also go to your reports here. And again, to select stuff, you just turn the dial here and then press it in, and that basically selects. So here, I have never used either of these two for the I code or the 201 I code there, but usage summary, I do go back and kind of look at that. So you can look at your usage summary to see how much you've been using it to kind of get an average, right? So let's go to the settings here and show you a little bit more in depth here. So let's see if I can get that to show up on the screen pretty good. So sorry if that's not showing great here. But so the top one here, you have humidifier. So that is obviously the water there. You've got a built-in humidifier. I like it at 2. Everybody's going to be different. So it really just depends on, you know, where you are and what you like for humidity. I like it at 2, but if you want to change that setting, again, you're just going to turn the knob here to pick which setting you want to change. You'll press the knob, it'll highlight it and turn that number or whatever you're looking at yellow. So I don't know if you can see the color difference. It turned the humidifier yellow. Now I can turn it up and it also does auto, right? So you can have it off and then anywhere between 1 and 5 and auto. So I like mine at 2. Then you'll press the button again and then that turns it back to white, and now you can go on to the next setting, right? So you can kind of customize your settings. The ramp time here, it's just going to slowly build up pressure to your pressure that you and your doctor have come to agree on, like what pressure, and that is set by them. And as far as I know, you can't go in and change that pressure setting. So this setting here is just the build up to that. So you can go ahead and change that. I think it goes up to 20 minutes there and then it's auto. So auto just will kind of look at your breathing, and when it senses that it's ready for full pressure or your prescribed pressure, it will just go ahead and go up to that. Then you have Reslex here. So this is a setting I just found out about and it has helped me immensely. And this is a setting that allows or lets the pressure off a little bit. So when you're breathing, when you breathe out, the pressure relieves a little bit. And that has been such a huge help for me because I always felt like I was choking. For me, it felt like I was driving down the highway, sticking my head out of the window going 100 miles an hour, and I couldn't breathe out and I couldn't get a good breath. So this Reslex setting changed everything for me, and it allowed me to really utilize my CPAP machine more. So you can set this between 1 and 3, and it's up to you. I like 2. That's where I've kind of fallen on that. So again, auto on. So this is that setting. As soon as I put the mask on and start breathing into it, it turns on automatically. You can turn that off. So it's up to you on whether you want that on or off. And then auto on, auto off, auto on, auto on, auto off. So I don't know why that's on there twice. So I don't know what that is. So why there's 2 of those. One could be for the machine to turn on automatically, like the light, and then one could be for the actual air to turn on automatically. So I'm sorry, unfortunately, I don't know why those 2 autos are there. And then here it's just some more customizable settings as far as kind of the brightness and how long you want it to turn, stay on before it turns off. So I don't use those settings. So honestly, that's really all you can do. Everything else as far as pressure is set up on the back end by the doctor and whoever's helping you with the machine. So that's it. That's what I really like. Now let me go ahead and show you kind of how I put the mask on and some other things. So I've got all the settings set how I like it. I would just go ahead and remove or lift up the lid here. It's hard to kind of do it like that. So I would just set this here, fill it up with distilled water. Now I typically just leave it in the machine while I fill it up, but it's up to you on how you want to do this. It does have some blue lines here for your max fill line. So you're just gonna fill that up with your distilled water. Okay. And then you'll just set it back in place, press it down, and it will click and snap into place. So that's all in place. And from here on out, it's kind of plug and play. Like you don't have to do much to it. You can just put it on and it will start working. So as soon as I put it on here and start breathing into it, it will go ahead and turn on. The screen will light up and we'll get going here. And that's it. So it is very quiet. So when I first got it, and it's blowing air in there, so I don't know if you can hear the difference in my voice. It's blowing, so it's kind of choking me. So to turn it off here, I'm just going to push the power button. There we go. And it turns off that fast. And then if I left it on and started breathing again, it would turn on automatically again. It is very quiet. It is much quieter than the fan that we have in the room. I've got an air filter in the room. It's even quieter than that. So it does get louder, of course, if there's a leak and you don't have a good seal on here. So we can hear that. You'll listen for it. So you hear that. So it's much louder, but it's not even that loud as far as some other devices that I have in the room. So I've got the nasal mask here. It does kind of have a relief valve here, so air will blow out of there. And my partner, my wife, sometimes feels that air, but she says it's actually kind of refreshing. So, but it hasn't been an issue. I thought it was going to be much louder and kind of disturbing and disruptive, but it's just the CPAP machine. Maybe if I had an oxygen machine or something like that, it'd be different. But this one, super quiet. My partner doesn't even notice it. And I really don't even notice it either as far as a noise that it makes. So just quickly, one more thing I want to show you is this display here. So when you are using it, it shows some helpful information here like leakage, liters per minute, so you don't have your mask on all the way. It kind of shows you in real time how the machine is performing, the pressure and different things like that. So this is the display screen that comes on when it is on and it's blowing air and you are actually using it. So this can be kind of helpful, especially if you're trying to monitor your leakage, and that is how much air is getting out of the mask, and you typically want that lower. I try to keep it below 10. I talked to a coach and they recommended trying to keep it below 10 as well. Then at the end of the night, it will give you a score. So it is kind of helpful. It does give some feedback, and there's all that in the display there. You can also go back into the menu that I showed you earlier and find that data usage to find some more of this information as well. So getting used to it was a little bit of work, and I am honestly still getting used to it. I'm about 4 months in, and I've kind of struggled with it back and forth a little bit, but finally got some settings dialed in that I think I'm on the right path there. But anyways, that is how to use it. As far as the machine goes, I think it's a great machine. It's nice, it's compact, it's quiet, it is easy to use as far as the functionality. And you know, as far as machines go, it's the only one I've had, but I wouldn't see the need for getting a different one. I really do like this one. So it's the Luna G3. Hopefully that was helpful. Here on this channel, I'm just sharing health and wellness stuff, kind of my journey throughout life. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a healthcare professional, but I'm just a user of some of these things and dealing with some issues. So I'm just trying to share those and be transparent. Of course, be sure to speak with your healthcare professional about any issues before you start doing anything, but hopefully that was helpful on the Luna G3. Feel free to check out some other stuff. My name is Drew. I'll see you in the next one.